Welcome back to the show. Bitcoin hits an all-time high. Watch out for the altcoins, ladies and gentlemen. And the Fed flips the switch on the banks, and they're not going to like it. We got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, it's $2.84 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is up 2.7% as Bitcoin hits an all-time high, 71,900 plus. Go, baby, go. Yes. Oh, man, am I glad, regardless of the information I understand about Bitcoin's technology and background, I am glad that I decided to get some exposure and not be a tribalist, right? And take some exposure on it, and I did so inside my I Trust Capital IRA, so everything I'm gaining is tax-free, baby. What are you waiting for? Open up your I Trust Capital IRA and get the damn thing free, tax-free, right? Yeah, 4,000 plus for Ethereum right now. Good gracious. Yeah, 102 billion plus market cap for Tether, and XRP's at 62 cents. But you know what? If you've been in this space a while, watch out. Because when Bitcoin moves like this, at some point it'll take a breath, and then it's alt season. Yeah, how about that? Range of price for XRP right now, 59 to 63 cents. So it's bumping around a little bit. We'll keep an eye on it. But let me tell you about this, because it's March Madness at Link2. Oh my, ladies and gentlemen. This is super amazing. Let me tell you this. This is game day one of Link2 March Madness. And this is going to be set up in this whole bracket tournament style, and like the college March Madness. This is so amazing. Tomorrow's two games, which is today, today's two games are Epic Games versus Datamir, and then Kraken versus Shield AI. We'll be promoting the latter two teams practically, and it says, please, here, understand this. So this is like a tournament style, and what you can do with this is that the one that does the best is going to be the one that wins out, and then you're going to get a special on it. It's going to get a deal. This is amazing to me, man. I mean, honestly, think about it. They're always doing something fun here to give you the edge, right? And I love this. And you have to understand the tournament begins with 32 companies, but only one will emerge as the champion. This is amazing. So this will all be based on which one gets the most volume. I love this, the way they have this set up. We're going to get Nick from Link2 on the show to break this down even further this week. You watch. This is going to be amazing. I mean, I tell you what, and I'm eyeing, I don't even want to say what I'm eyeing because I know what you guys do. You end up buying it, and then I'm not able to get it. So I'm going to tell you what I get right after I get it. That's what I'm going to do this time. Yeah, click the link to Link2 below and get started on your March Madness right now and buy the ones that you think are going to win today. Over 46 million worth of XRP, colossal sums by any standard, moved across DigitalOcean in 4 separate transactions. Each haul exceeded 18 million XRP and their destinations unknown. Well, let me go ahead and clear the slate here. It wasn't me, right? So we could take that off the table. It was not me. But I do want to remind people right now, this is a great reminder. Look at how many people here are selling. Jamie Dimon, Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, right? There's so many people here. American Titans sell it up to $11 billion in stocks because they know something's coming. People don't sell their stocks when they're that level. They don't have money trouble, so he ain't selling it because he's having money problems. All these people are selling it because they know there's something coming. And here's one of the things that's coming starting today. Its bank term funding program is getting unplugged right here, right? They're cutting off the banks. The Federal Reserve Board announced that we're shutting it down, right? Yeah, the government titty milk is over. Cut it off, right? Cut it off. They get nothing. That's what's going on. And listen to what George Gammon, economist, thinks could happen from shutting that off. Take a listen here.
So you know that you've got this switch right here, that all you have to do is, oh, I'm going to flip that switch up, no more BTFP come March 12th of 2024, and you know that your inflation problem is gone.
But replaced by what? Replaced by a banking crisis, which means what? Which surely means a recession, surely has broader ramifications.
And surely means a...
Well, no, inflation.
CBDC.
Well, yes, well...
And surely means a CBDC.
When you... Well,
so there's that incentive layer on
When we were talking in March, I had several guests on the show that actually predicted or forecast or made us aware, like you do, of the possibility of a consolidation of the banking sector, which allows for a CBDC. Fewer banks there are, the closer you are to the Fed, the easier it is to implement a CBDC.
Even if it's not the Fed's balance sheet. Let's just assume that all the banks got absorbed by JP Morgan. So you've got the Fed and JP Morgan. Well, let's remember who owns the Fed. That would be JP Morgan, that would be the banks. Yeah. So if there's only one bank, then they own the Fed, right?
The banks own the Fed?
Absolutely. Yeah, the Fed technically is a private corporation,
right?
And they have shareholders.
Yeah.
And the shareholders are the banks
Bingo.
That are within their network, in their system.
Bingo.
Right? So if there's only one bank left standing, then by definition, they own the Fed. Okay. So basically you have that gauze bank type of scenario that we talked about earlier, which was the one bank in communist Russia that could not go bust. So whether that one ledger is on the Fed's balance sheet or JP Morgan's, it still doesn't matter for the average Joe and Jane. The net result is the exact same.
Now, George Gamm is a smart guy, but I want to take you back to this first part very quickly here.
So you know that you've got this switch right here, that all you have to do is, oh, I'm going to flip that switch up, no more BTFP come March 12th of 2024, and you know that your inflation problem is gone.
But replaced by what? Replaced by a banking crisis, which means what? Which surely means a recession, surely has broader ramifications.
And surely means a...
Well, no, inflation.
CBDC.
Well, yes, well...
And surely means a CBDC.
When you, well,
so there's that incentive layer on
when we were talking in March, I had several guests on the show that actually predicted or forecast or made us aware, like you do, of the possibility of a consolidation of the banking sector, which allows for a CBDC. Fewer banks there are, the closer you are to the Fed, the easier it is to implement a CBDC.
Even if it's not the Fed's balance sheet. Let's just assume that all the banks got absorbed by JP Morgan. So you've got the Fed and JP Morgan. Well, let's remember who owns the Fed. That would...
It's the banks. Yeah, but I wanted to play that a second time so you could hear the CBDCs is the answer, right? And we know that the only way you're going to have CBDCs moving around is if it's on a new value protocol that can actually move them, which is what? What was FedWire, which is now FedNow. Who's a part of FedNow? Ripple's a part of FedNow. Yeah. And nearly 60 other partners approved to integrate with FedNow. Uh-huh. The last mile, they call it, I believe. Remember this. Think of where we are for a moment here, right? Think of where we are. This is going back a few years when Brad brought this up about banks excited about what it could do.
And this guy kind of interrupts me. He's like, yeah, that's nice. But I have a problem settling into Peru. Can I use XRP to help me settle into Peru? And honestly, I was like, holy shit. Like, you know, here's one of the biggest banks in the world who has more liquidity than almost anybody out there. And I'm not even trying to talk to him about crypto and digital assets. I'm trying to talk to him about the core of fiat to fiat. And, he's already looking ahead and realizing that, look, this is something that can help me solve a problem in Peru. And I don't want to necessarily hold currency in Peru from an inflation point of view or a regulatory risk point of view, a compliance risk. So they're looking for other solutions. And again, if you solve a real problem for real customers, it's going to work out.
And there you have it. And that's the age-old clip right there. And it absolutely says it the way it is. But I'm showing that again because we know today is lining up even more relevant to what Brad was saying back in 2018 or whenever it was he's made that comment. And it's so relevant today because they're about to shut off all that money for the banks. What choice do they have? The banks are being forced in a corner. We know that we're moving towards real world asset tokenization. Listen to what Brooks Entwistle says that could be the case by 2027, just 36 months from now.
We actually believe and put a lot of faith behind this World Economic Forum report that says that just a huge percent, 10% of the world's GDP could be tokenized by 2027 in some form or another. And if you really believe that and can get behind what that means, that's pretty exciting. And we think that, that these topics we're discussing today enable us all, and really all people on this spectrum of folks that we deal with on RippleNet, from financial institutions to edgy fintechs, are all moving in one direction.
They really are at such a spot on point to know where everyone is moving in the right direction together, because they need each other. The banks are not innovators, and the innovators aren't banks. The banks have the liquidity, but the innovators have the utility, right? And the value protocol to move it all. That's why they're moving in the right direction together. And combined with understanding that the lending window from the Fed is being shut off, they're all being pushed to either swim or drowned. This here from Smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire. You better give them a follow. Who will maintain liquidity pool? Financial institutions chosen by SWIFT or Bank of International Settlement shall fund liquidity pools with the currencies required for an exchange. It goes on to say here, for example, in the MCBDC experiment, the Bank of France was charged 10 basis points by the liquidity pool on the amount that was to be transferred. B, the second way to maintain the liquidity pool is by bringing the MCBDC bridge on Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform. Now, I don't know where this document is from, but I know this. Smoke Dog is no joke. And wherever it came from, it's legitimate. You can bank on it. And it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But this is yet another signal that Ripple is deeper into the market infrastructure of the banking and financial system around the world than we could ever imagine. Speculating, of course, but I'm liking my odds, as they say, right? Then ISO Goat says here, I know a company or two that might be able to help with your little problem. Absolutely right. Ripple can help in there, and a couple others, Stellar and everybody else. Bring them all. Multi-chain world, right? Then there's this. Think about this angle right here. This is Chad Steingraber. Give him a follow. This guy's crushing. The power of ETFs is the single greatest wealth generator that crypto will ever see. You don't need astronomical numbers in the actual asset. You only need a derivative fund with shares outperforming the supply. This is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And then I want to show this because he says here, you asked for the XRP buyback. I give you the ETF premium in-kind redemption. He says it will be trading at $250 a share for one underlying XRP by the end of 2025. Now, I love that kind of optimism. And obviously, he's speculating and projecting there. And I love that. I'm not going to hold his feet to the fire. But I love that is how bullish he is on these things. And that really is what that shares, right? So, and look, he's gauging this off of what we've seen with the Bitcoin spot ETF, right? And that caused me to say this. Think of it for a moment. Seeing the explosion in demand for the Bitcoin spot ETF is quite possible that XRP spot ETFs could be our Shane Ellis catalyst moment. Buying up the exchanges, and they used the client's money to do it. Just how I would expect the greediest entities, institutions, and banks in the world to operate. Think of it. I see it happening. It's coming. There's no question. Prominent analyst Ed Greg Crypto expects XRP to secure a $17 price in May and a $27 value in November based on Bitcoin's price movements. Now, I want to offer everybody that Ed Greg Crypto is walking out on a limb here for all of us. He doesn't know, but he's saying, you know what, I hate to do this, but I'm going to do it for people because he knows people want to try to have something to hold on to for a time marker. But you know what? I just love that he's confident enough to do this. And he says basically right here, the first path takes the form of the white ascending triangle. Should XRP break out of this white ascending triangle, the price could skyrocket to $17 by May 2024. So it'll have to get out of that particular range and above that particular white triangle range he's discussing in order to do that, right? But for this to occur, Bitcoin would need to record a new all-time high and face a mild retracement before continuing its uptrend. Well, we've seen the all-time high happen today. So will we see that retracement he's talking about we need to see? However, there lies an opportunity for more substantial gains. If XRP takes a second path, it would lead to a yellow ascending triangle breakout. From that could propel XRP's price to a much coveted $27 level. Notable, stress that this price is nearly 100 times the 28% low, right? And certain dynamics must align for XRP to take this trajectory. We don't know, right? But he also says here, Bitcoin rallying to $200,000 price at its cycle top. However, the leading crypto asset could witness several corrections amounting to a 30% drop as a result of washing out leverage. So keep these things in mind. You will see ups and downs and ups and, movement and pullback, right? So this is all very exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Who knows? We may see that $17 XRP in May. How cool would that be? And I tell you what, with an all-time high with Bitcoin, there's no reason why you shouldn't be going out and getting your ticket to XRP Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be amazing. I hope you will join us. Digperspectives.com. What a great way to support the channel for next to nothing. Get access to a private Telegram group. I'm going to put that link and pin it to the top. I think I can do that there in the Patreon for all of you. And remember, this is a censorship-free zone, so we're super glad to have you inside, and we take on all kinds of topics we couldn't dare do on the channel itself because of those issues. So I hope you will join us. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.